Hello everyone, I am Dr. Diksha Sharma, postgraduate junior resident, third year of Obs Gynae from GGS Medical College, Faridkot. I would like to thank my co-author Dr. Lajja Devi ma'am, and I would like to thank Virtual Mapicon 2020 Bathinda who gave me an opportunity for oral presentation. And also I would like to thank Dr. Vitul Gupta who guided me to help present this case to you. My topic for today is unusual presentation of ruptured endometriomas with striking levels of CA125 and pleural effusion mimicking ovarian malignancy, two rare cases with review of literature. Endometriosis clinically presents usually with pelvic pain, dysmenorrhea, dyspareunia, and infertility, which may or may not be associated with an ovarian mass. The diagnosis can be established by correlating the symptoms and age, that is reproductive age group women, with mildly raised CA125 levels and ultrasound features. Very rarely, it may present with ascites, pleural effusion, strikingly raised CA125 levels, and large bilateral adnexal masses such that it mimics an ovarian malignancy. Till date, only 63 such cases have been reported. So, presenting extremely rare cases of 22 years old and 40-year-old patient who presented with unusual presentation of ruptured endometriomas along with classical features of a metastatic ovarian malignancy. Both presented to the OPD in a stable condition. They had no acute complaints. The ultrasound revealed ascites, large bilateral complex adnexal masses, and their CA121, CA125 levels were in the range of 3000 to 5000 units per ml. Presenting the first case, which is a 40-year-old nulli gravida, she presented with the complaints of sudden abdominal distension, mild pain abdomen over 10 days associated with loss of appetite. She had regular menstrual cycles. On examination, her vitals were stable, abdomen was soft with mild guarding. Per abdomen examination revealed an irregular, cystic, non-tender abdominopelvic mass of around 10 into 10 centimeters occupying the lower abdominal region. On per vaginal examination, uterus could not be made out separately from the mass. On investigation, patient had a hemoglobin of 9.5 grams. Her other routine investigations, that is renal function test, liver function test, prothrombin index time, they were all within the normal limits. The chest X-ray revealed mild pleural effusion. Ultrasound showed findings of bilateral complex adnexal masses, which was 10 into 10 centimeter on right side and around 5 into 5 centimeter on left side. Also, there was moderate amount of free fluid. CA125 levels of this patient was 4651 units per ml. Urine for pregnancy test was negative. A cytic tap was done, which showed blood-stained fluid, but it was negative for malignant cells. Ultrasound-guided pleural tap was also done, which showed straw-colored fluid, but there were no malignant cells on cytology. CCT abdomen showed multiple complex cystic bilateral adnexal lesions, the largest of which was 9 into 5.7 into 7.6 centimeter ovarian origin with moderate ascites and bilateral pleural effusion. Intraoperatively, we found that there were hemorrhagic and brownish thick fluid in the abdominal cavity. Also, there were bilateral ovarian cysts with right-sided cyst of around 10 into 10 centimeter, and on left side there were 3 cysts which were of around 5 into 5 centimeters. One of these cysts was already ruptured and it was oozing chocolate material which was adhered all over the omentum, on the bowel loops, and also in the pouch of Douglas. So, an intraoperative diagnosis of ruptured endometriotic cyst was made. The left side ovarian tissue was replaced with cystic masses, so we had to do left salpingo-oophorectomy, plus we removed all the cysts on the left side. Also, right-sided cystectomy was done. Second case is a case of 22-year-old unmarried girl who presented with the complaints of pain lower abdomen since 15 days, which was severe in onset, gradually decreasing, plus the patient, it was associated with mild fever of around 99 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Patient had regular menstrual cycles. On examination, she was normally built. Her vitals were stable. On per abdomen examination, there was a vague swelling in the lower abdomen, but there were no signs of peritoneal irritation. Per vaginal examination was not done as the patient was not sexually active, and per rectal examination was refused by the patient. Ultrasound revealed bilateral adnexal masses of around 10 into 8 centimeters on the left side and 7 into 4 centimeters on the right side with ascites. CA125 level of this patient was 3459 units per ml. Her CEA was 0.92 units per ml, beta HCG, alpha fetoprotein, and LDH. They were within normal limits. Her urine pregnancy for test was also negative, which ruled out ectopic pregnancy. A cytic tap showed hemorrhagic fluid, which was negative for malignant cells. Intraoperatively, we found bilateral ovarian cysts, which were around 18 to 8 centimeter. They were ruptured, and there was reddish colored fluid in the peritoneal cavity of around 400 ml. So intraoperatively, cysts were examined, and we made a diagnosis of endometrioma. Bilateral ovarian tissue could be preserved, so bilateral ovarian cystectomy was done, and the abdomen was thoroughly washed. On histopath examination of both the ovarian cystic tissue in both the patients suggested of hemorrhagic cyst. The hospital stay of both the patients was uneventful, and on 2 months follow-up, both patients were normal with their CA125 levels decreasing to 10 international unit per ml in case 1 and 12.6 international unit per ml in case 2. This is the intra-op picture of both the patients with histopath photograph. On literature search, it was found that the first case was noted in 1954 by Bruce. Another systematic review was done by Gentor and co-authors, in which they took 63 women of 19 to 45 years of age, that is the reproductive age women. Among these, 24 women also had pleural effusion, and 19 women had CA125 levels in the range of 20 to 3,504 international unit per ml, thus establishing the rarity of the association of endometriosis with ascites and pleural effusion, mimicking an ovarian malignancy. On discussion, I would like to say that endometriosis is a diagnostic enigma, although it is a known entity. Manifestations may vary from being completely asymptomatic to symptoms varying from severe dysmenorrhea, dyspareunia, or infertility with or without large abdominopelvic masses. It is generally limited to ovaries, but it may also involve peritoneum, bowel loops, uterosacral ligaments, pleura, etc., presenting with large bilateral adnexal masses with ascites and pleural effusion with strikingly raised CA125 levels, mimicking an ovarian malignancy extremely rarely. Ascites can be explained by peritoneal irritation, which may lead to exudative ascites. However, there are also been reported that extensive endometriosis is seen without a rupture of the chocolate cysts. Pleural effusion can be explained by transdiaphragmatic transfer of the ascitic fluid via communications which are present between the peritoneal and the pleural cavities, or maybe due to leakage from over-distended lymphatic vessels of the thoracic cavity. So, when a patient presents with bilateral large adnexal masses with ascites, pleural effusion, and a very high CA125, the first diagnosis thought of is often ovarian malignancy. Other differential diagnosis which can be Meeks syndrome or pelvic tuberculosis. We did not think of those because the Meeks syndrome was not thought because the mass was not solid in nature, while there were no history suggestive of pelvic tuberculosis. Also, CA125 levels are very high to think of tuberculosis. Endometriosis is generally not considered in the differentials, but however, we must include it. To differentiate benign from malignant, both HE4 and CA125 must be measured, but we could not do HE4 because the features were highly suggestive of malignancy, that we had to take the patient for urgent exploration. So the approach should be that HE4 and CA125 levels must be done. Laparoscopy must be considered first, and management should be conservative, including cystectomy. I would like to conclude that ruptured endometrioma, although very rarely, but can mimic like ovarian malignancy, especially with very high levels of CA125, and should be considered as a differential diagnosis when the patient belongs to reproductive age group. Serum HE4 marker, it should be done along with CA125 and other diagnostic workup for a patient who presents like ovarian malignancy. To differentiate between the benign and malignant ovarian pathology must be done. Diagnostic laparoscopy should be performed in every case so that ruptured endometrioma can be dealt with minimal invasive surgery and laparotomy can be avoided. These are the references of from where I have taken the material. And my take-home message is that endometriosis can have an uncommon presentation. So, in all young patients with bilateral large adnexal masses with ascites, pleural effusion, and a very high CA125 and infertility, endometriosis should be kept in mind as a differential diagnosis. Management should be conservative. HE4 and CA125 should be done simultaneously to differentiate benign from malignant. Thank you.